Ladies and gentlemen, Dexter Resurrection is already on episode 5, and as you guys know, Batista has been a pretty big central point of this story, which I think is great because his presence was missed greatly in New Blood and over the years, and we obviously got the little tease with him in New Blood, but this is a real full-fledged story with him, and it begs the question, is Batista actually on the chopping block right now, or are we setting up a more long-term Miami manhunt story where he comes out on top? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I am genuinely concerned for Batista at this point in time, and I would have thought going into Dexter Resurrection, I would have thought that would have been a problem for me and that I would have an issue with the fact that he is potentially, he could potentially die in this season. But the more time I've spent with it and the more I've gotten to follow this and just really sink into the story, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do because I think all of the stakes are pointing to something bad happening to him. Do I want Batista to die? No, obviously I don't want Batista to die. I don't think any of us want Batista to die. But that being said, I haven't been this engaged in a story, at least in terms of Dexter, in a long time, and I can't remember the last time where I've felt such intrigue for the threat of a character. It reminds me of some earlier seasons of The Walking Dead where obviously you don't want a character to die, but because the story is so good, you kind of want to see it go that way just to watch that pan out. Not that I want Batista to die, but just because it's telling a good story. And I think right now, in terms of Resurrection goes, there are so many moving parts that I feel can all line into one thing. So this isn't as much a prediction as it is just me, in terms of the story with everything, this is where I kind of hope this goes. Right now, we have the threat of Leon Prader. We have him potentially finding out about Dexter. We also now, with that threat, have, at least I'm concerned, that somehow Leon's going to learn about Harrison, and that Harrison's going to somehow get involved into this mix. And if Prader starts investigating through Charlie, if he starts investigating Harrison and he starts investigating Dexter further, maybe once he learns that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher and all of that stuff, there is nothing stopping from Batista being directly caught in that line of fire. If that's the case, that's going to be tragic. It's going to remind me of, I was going to give an example of something from Better Call Saul, but I don't want to give examples of spoilers in that show. I made that mistake once, but regardless, I'm worried that he is going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. For those of you Better Call Saul fans, you may know what I mean by that. Anyway, that's a genuine concern of mine on one hand. On the other hand, I'm also concerned that now that Dexter and Harrison are on really good terms, that Harrison is going to find this sense of justice in potentially taking out Batista, which would be extremely tragic. Obviously, I don't have a genie in a bottle. These are just two theories that I think are really plausible. And I think one of the things that really makes this show special and makes it something that I'm thoroughly enjoying is that intrigue that there are multiple avenues that this could go down, or none of them can happen. And all of the potential outcomes seem okay. Then again, I did say this for Game of Thrones once, where I thought Game of Thrones was going to have an amazing ending because there was literally endless possibilities in Westeros, but that didn't happen at all. So obviously, given that we've had bad endings to Dexter in the past, I am not going to hold my breath for this, but I think they're clearly setting up something to happen with Batista, whether it's for him to catch Dexter, which I think he genuinely deserves, or whether it be he be in the wrong place at the wrong time and deep, put his nose somewhere it doesn't belong. I'm forgetting the actual term for that. There is a real term for that. He's swimming too close to the sun, I guess you could say. I don't know, and that concerns me because anyone who's gotten too close to the sun in Dexter has ended up dying. So I don't know. I don't know, but I just have a bad feeling, and in a good way, I have a bad feeling about Batista. And I never thought I would say that because Le Passion is my favorite. Did I say Le? I meant La. Whatever. Anyway, he is literally my favorite character in Dexter, so the concept of him dying is not one that I'm excited for, but I am excited to watch this story unfold. Because this show is just genuinely so good. I am thoroughly enjoying every bit of it. And I made an analogy. I did a take of this right before I started recording and I had to cut it, where This show, as far as spin-offs go, is like everything I'd ever want out of a spin-off. As some of you guys may know, my favorite spin-off is Better Call Saul. It's not only my favorite spin-off, it's my favorite show of all time. That's the only show, in terms of a spin-off, that I'm aware of that is rivaling, or in some people's eyes, beating the main series. So like for me, Better Call Saul, I think is better than Breaking Bad. Dexter Resurrection, at least in terms of like the horror genre and all of that, is the first spin-off I've ever seen that rivals and could potentially over time beat the main series. I mean, obviously, we're only 5 episodes in, so there's no way to know if that's actually going to happen, but it does feel good. I can't tell you the last time The Walking Dead's felt this way, even in The Ones Who Live, and that's saying something. This is a fantastic spinoff, and I'm enjoying every minute of it, and the fact that I'm even contemplating Batista dying being an okay thing for the story is crazy. I never thought I'd do that, but I'd love to hear from you. Do you think there's potential for Batista to die this season? If so, what are your predictions for that? Definitely start a healthy conversation down there, and be sure to follow me on all things. I mainly post on Instagram at jerrys.takes, and I tweet all the time on X. It's Jerry_takes. Don't ask me why there's a difference, but with all that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching this video, and until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.